Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim or Simnanya, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Now, let me tell us this. The truth is that most or majority of the people do not, or other minority groups do not care how Black people feel, especially when it comes to the forbidding word that we told them that we do not want this word to be used on us. They don't care. The only thing they are so much bothered about is the fact that if they say it, they probably will be cancelled and lose their career or means of livelihood, because you definitely will hear this particular tiny one saying, why is it that we cannot say it? And if you try to say it, you get cancelled and you are going to lose your job. So they absolutely do not care the impact of that word on Black people or how it affects Black people. Now, second to the, let's move into the second one. Now, I do not understand the relationship between how Charlie Kirk always want to debate with kids. I call them kids because absolutely they are still growing and probably are not embedded in their history, or they know already, but still looking for a way to improve and all that. He knows how to look for those tiny, like little kids, and look for a way to attack them, because that is what he knows how to do best. Lie about Black people. Coming on here to tell us that Allah has improved for Black people, that there is no longer segregated found in schools and all that. But we still have some downtown. Keep lying. Let's get into this.
Being like right beside black streamer, bro, it's so hard to not to say the N word, bro. Like, bro, imagine saying the N word and your whole career is gone, bro.
Imagine the only thing holding you back from saying the N word is not because it's a racial slur. It's not because it has been harmful to the Black community, but the fact that you can lose everything in your career. Imagine that being the case for why you don't say the N word. Meanwhile, as a Black person, I have no desire to call an Asian person any racial slurs that exist, and I know them. I have no desire to refer to any Hispanic or Latin American as a racial slur, and I know them. I have no desire to call any racial group a racial slur. As a Black American person, I have no desire, because I know they are rooted in white supremacy, and I have no desire to try to Klansplain my way out of it. But it's very telling how many groups really want to say the N-word. Like it's eating them alive to say the N-word. Like you just gotta say it. Like your entire being would crumble if you just can't say the N-word. You ever ask yourself why you want to say it so much? Why do you feel the need to use a word rooted in white supremacy, but was taken back by Black people? And even Black people are on different sides of the fence of whether it should be used or not, but it's not for you to use if you are not a Black person. You are not within that community to make that decision. You are on the outside looking in. So ask yourself why you want to say something that no one told you belonged to you or was used towards you in a negative light. What is the obsession? It's things like this that always remind me that there is an obsession with ostracizing Black people in this country. And people like to claim we play the race card. Y'all forget who built the deck.
I guess what I'm saying is, right, and you've perfectly actually laid out the dichotomy here. It is a fact, obviously, that Black people disproportionately commit crime in this country. No one's arguing that. But you either believe that that is due to a complex intersection of social, economic, and like leftover effects from previous inequalities, or you believe that that is an inherent trait to the race.
No, I don't, because they weren't that way in the 1940s and 50s. Black America was one of the most peaceful, flourishing, fastest growing economically communities in the country. It's not genetic. You're trying to point something on me that I don't believe. Instead,
but then
Black
you do
America,
believe that it's not genetic, so you do think CRT is correct.
Hold on a second. In the 1940s and 1950s, Black America was prosperous and was on pace to be richer and wealthier than white America. More dads were staying with the women that they were with. There was monogamy. What changed?
You're supporting my argument.
No, hold on. But answer the question. What changed? Did America get more racist since the 1950s?
I would argue there were more racist policies passed. There were more policies dedicated to lining off those communities and pushing them into poor housing and poor schools.
Wait a second. In the 1950s, Jackie Robinson had not even broken the color barrier. We had Jim Crow laws. We hadn't passed the Civil Rights Act, and we hadn't passed the Voting Rights Act. Yet blacks were better in the 1950s per capita than they are today. So we have become less racist. We've passed more anti-racist laws and given more stuff, and blacks are worse than they were 70 years ago.
Yeah.
Why?
So you're equating here institutional and social racism. Social racism was certainly worse in the 1950s, I'm sure everyone would agree, but institutional racism occurs when policies are passed against people.
Come on.
Which can increase over time, and it did.
You're not being intellectually honest. You know that. There was black-only drinking fountains in the 1950s. We don't have those anymore. Well, we're bringing them back with, black-only dormitories. But we had, for example, in the antebellum South in the 1950s, we had white-only communities, by law. We got rid of that with the Civil Rights Act. But it didn't, unfortunately, we look around, the numbers speak for themselves. Black youth are less likely to have fathers. They're not doing as well as far as economically. They commit more crimes. So something changed. And our argument is what changed is three things. Number one, the imposition of the Great Society Project by Lyndon Baines Johnson of spending $30 trillion since 1960s on Section 8 housing, on welfare, on, all sorts where, as I said, that young black women married the government and they divorced young black men. And then we also have had, as Thomas Sowell and as Clarence Thomas would say, the soft bigotry of low expectations. And we have been afraid to get to the root of the issue or even speak about it because we don't be called a racist.
So what is imposing those low expectations?
Part of it is like white academic culture. I'll give you an example. I'm not saying you believe this, but Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, has come out and said having an ID to vote is racist. That is code for saying black people are too dumb to get a voter ID.
You're doing it again. You're simplifying a very nuanced, complex argument from the real people who are making it.
Is voter ID racist?
Obviously not, Charlie.
Okay, all right.
Do you want to know where the argument comes from? I can eloquently tell you.
Eloquently tell me why voter ID is racist or whatever.
Certain policies in southern states were proposed that would, I think the quote from the person who decided the case was, with surgical precision, target the times where black people were voting and make it illegal or harder for them to get that to come at that time. And then they were targeting the type of ID that black voters had and making that specific type of ID illegal. That is racist.
Perfectly fair. How does that impact today, saying that every citizen, if you need an ID to vote, just that aside, why is it racist?
Because we have to have, obviously humans are making those decisions, right? And so if there is still institutional racism and people in power that are racist, we can't trust those institutions to make those.
So this is all I got from this video. And you know what? That little girl, she knew what she was saying, but how would Charlie Kirk or whatever his name is, how would he let her speak? See, he said black community was peaceful at what time to what time? Charles, tell your people, Charlie Kirk, tell your people to return the lands, because we had prosperous communities, black communities that were doing okay, they were doing super great for themselves. First of all, return all the landed property you all took, return all the things you all took away from them before you start screaming blah 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 blah, because you always know how to run. That is what you are good at. You all should return all that. Pay reparations. At least we can talk, because you have not paid reparations. You all have not even accepted that it was a massacre that happened in Rosewood, in Tulsa, and some other places, Lake Lanier and all that. You all have refused to even accept that it was. They kept saying that it was a riot. Return all the things you all owe black people. So weak. If I don't know what you guys are planning or what you are planning, so that we know if we are going to continue or if we are going to pull back. Enough of coming out on the internet every day to face Charlie Kirk, because he's the only one that knows how to be racist towards people that look like me. He mounts phone and camera every day. Look for children that are still trying to understand history of America, that are still growing, and then look for a way to challenge them or even eat their mouth while they are trying to also raise point. Young lady was right on point with everything going on and all that. She was able to say, this is my point. But would he ever let her speak? Of course, no. Why do you have to speak? Enough of Charlie Kirk bullshit. Because every day we wake up, Charlie Kirk only want to train with black people. Rage Farm and all that. Every day we wake up, it's Charlie Kirk having something to say about black people. Black people, he never lived their experience. He never lived their life, right? He is talking about are there still not places that people that look like me cannot go? He said it's been outlawed. When was all those places outlawed? I know some certain things. See, I am not going to lie. I usually like being truthful with some certain things, right? Should I say that I am going to say that we have come far from where we were coming from to where Black people are to this very moment, but a lot did not change. So many things did not change. It simply just evolved, right? Now here we're talking about, before there was fountains, Black fountains, Black schools, white schools, and all that. I mean, like different places, right? Do we still not have places that people that look like me cannot trespass or pass at a particular point in time or at a particular time that it is boldly written somewhere? When I say boldly written, I do not mean, I mean boldly written in some states that do not let the sun set on so and so, you got what I am saying, right? Do we still not have them? We have all of them. But this young man is always ready to come out on the internet and rant, look for kids that he can out talk and talk about Black people. Get away from. Now let's get into the Asian. Now let me tell us something. The truth is that a lot of people want to say that word so bad. Not that they want to say it, they say it behind closed doors or with whoever they are with. They don't want to say it on camera. He is not concerned about the impact or the effect of that word to people that look like me. They have told them, do not use that word on us. It is harmful and it is not good for us, right? We just do not want it, right? They are only very much concerned about their career. That if they say that they are going to lose their career, they are going to be canceled. But how you feel about it, it is none of their business. It is not their problem. This is to tell you the kind of people we have like today. As tiny as he is, because he looks really very tiny, as tiny as he is, the only thing bothering him or he is so much worried about is how he cannot say that word and how his career is just going to be canceled and eliminated if he tries saying it. That is to tell you majority of people do not even care about Black people. We already know that. It's something that we just have to accept that it is what it is. I do not know Asian Slur, sincerely speaking. I have been on this YouTube streets for a longer time. For how many? And if I wanted to know, I absolutely would know. But I don't care. I don't want to know. Do not tell me. Do not say it. I don't want to know. I don't know Asian Slur. And I would never, ever try, even if I get to know, I would never, ever try to use that on any human being. Why? Because you said you don't want it. I do not use the N word. Because why would I use it? Why would I use it? See you all in my next video. Bye for now.